Hi, my name is Flo and welcome to Flo's Tech Reviews. I want to start to release shorter videos which have more news character and don't go into too much details like most of my other older videos. Of course, the bigger and longer videos which you already know from me will also keep coming. Last week, the CFO of BMW, Nicolas Peter, said in an interview that he sleeps very peacefully when asked about the Apple car. He also said, quote, "Competition is a wonderful thing. It helps motivate the others. We are in a very strong position and we want to remain in a leading position of the industry." Well, you know, my videos always have some form of personal opinion, and I personally really don't think BMW is in a quote very strong position and also surely not in a quote leading position. I even did a video about this topic, which I will link in the top right corner and in the video description. At best, BMW is in a good position and leads in some sub-areas, like driving dynamics of some select M models. Today, BMW is not just under the usual pressure of Mercedes-Benz, Audi, Porsche, Jaguar Land Rover, Volvo as well as Lexus, Infiniti and Acura. No, today there are new players like Tesla, Genesis or Rivian. In a few years we will see Chinese brands like for example NIO entering the international market, and they also want a piece of the cake. BMW is under pressure from all sides and does not seem to try to be the best. For example, I think their new design language does not work, their electric cars do not seem to be really competitive, seeing what's coming from Tesla in the next month, and fit and finish is worse than from BMWs at the end of the 90s. And then there is the Apple car. Not much is known about the Apple car. Today it is completely unclear how the car will look and which features it will have. Also it is unclear who will produce the car. It could be Magna Steyr from Austria, a well-known contract manufacturer. For example, Magna Steyr produces the G-Class for Mercedes-Benz. Recently there have been rumors Hyundai or even Foxconn will build a car for Apple. As Apple is not building a factory right now, it seems they plan to go the way of letting the car being built by someone else. But what I assume will be very certain are, for example, the following things. The Apple car will have sophisticated self-driving capabilities. Today Apple is using several Lexus RX as sensor test vehicles. They are seen regularly on the streets of Silicon Valley. Releasing the car without this capability surely won't be an option for Apple. The Apple car will certainly look good, as this aspect is very important for Apple since decades. I think it will be certain that an Apple designer designing a car like the BMW iX will have a hard time keeping his job. The Apple car will certainly be built very well with high quality materials. This aspect is also a strong point of Apple products and they certainly don't want to embarrass themselves here. There are stories Apple drove the companies building their new headquarters in Cupertino absolutely nuts, demanding precision and beauty down to the bolts holding the door frames. And my last example, the Apple car certainly will be an electric car and I am convinced the range will be on Tesla levels. Everything else would surprise me and would be embarrassing for Apple. But why will the Apple car be a car which probably won't have any dramatic shortcomings? Because Apple is extremely rich. So the chances that they screw up are very low. Right now Apple sits on cash reserves of around $195 billion. And as of making this video, BMW has a market capitalization of around $60 billion. So Apple could buy BMW 3 times with money laying around, if the Quant family would sell, of course. So the BMW CFO is telling us that they don't fear a car from a company known to make very competitive high quality products, known to have an army of talented engineers, known to take design, fit and finish seriously and known to have extremely much money laying around which they don't know what to do with? I think that's bold and doesn't represent the reality. You need to remember that cash reserves are money the company really doesn't know what to do with, except using it in some absolutely unforeseen emergency. Money needed for more normal emergencies, like legal costs due to a problematic product, are already tucked away in provisions. Also, every penny connected to the development of the Apple Car is already hiding somewhere in the books, almost like a military black project. So my idea of using the cash reserves to build the Apple Car does not represent the reality. My idea just should show that this project does not hurt Apple financially at all. But to have some better perspective, let's make a rough calculation based on what we know about car development today. Developing a new competitive luxury car today with retooling of an existing factory costs around $2 to $3 billion. Then let's say developing the autonomous driving tech costs another $2 billion. And then let's say Apple needs to pay a company like Magna Steyr another $500 million for further development, testing and preparing the manufacturing of the car. And then let's say Apple would need to pay another $2.5 billion for car dealerships and repair centers. And to top it off, Apple also wants its own charging network worldwide and pays another $2 billion for it. That's $10 billion from $195 billion to open a business which will probably stay forever. And the BMW leadership can sleep very peacefully? I don't like this attitude, and the CFO surely could have chosen a less smug wording, especially if your company really does not shine in any area except perhaps the driving dynamics of some select M models. The only thing that could help BMW is when Apple does not really commit to the Apple Car project and does abort the project, as rumors in the last years also often said. The Apple board is not a Ferdinand Piëch who pushes through a Bugatti Veyron or Volkswagen Phaeton because he just wants so, no matter the cost. This could be the only thing that could save BMW. But if there is an Apple Car in the market and BMW still produces cars with quality and technology levels of today's BMWs, I don't see a bright future. So that's it from me, and let me know what you think about the Apple Car and BMW statement in the comments below. And please like, share, subscribe and also hit the notification bell, as more videos are coming soon.